is up, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm coming at you 40 weeks and 1 day pregnant, and I thought I would do just a really quick little update. Y'all, I have had, unfortunately, the worst week of my entire pregnancy. Well, maybe not the worst week, because it was pretty rough when I used to get morning sickness. But this week, I fell on the cement, gashed my knee open, and bruised my hand, and actually ended up going to the hospital just to make sure that everything was okay, because I really did fall really hard. I was gonna take my dog on a drive, and I tied her leash to the front porch so she wouldn't just run away while I laid a blanket down in the car. And after I tied her leash, I literally just walked into her leash and tripped over it. I don't even know how I did that. I was here by myself, bleeding all down my leg. Thankfully it's healed a lot already, but bleeding all down my leg. My hand hurt so bad, and it scared me really bad. And then yesterday I woke up on my due date with the worst cold. And I have not had a cold my whole pregnancy, and of course I get it right before I go into labor. Yesterday I felt really rough. Today I think a little better. I woke up feeling worse, but as the day's gone, I've actually started to feel a little better, which has been so good, because I'm 40 weeks in 1 day. So really I want her to come now, but I want to have energy and strength to go into labor. So it's just been a rough week. Some people have told me that they've heard of a lot of women getting sick right before pregnancy, and that it could maybe be a sign of labor. I don't really know. I wonder if maybe me starting to collect colostrum and maybe not feeling myself enough with that switch of pumping colostrum may have weakened me and allowed me to get sick, because I'm one that if I get stressed, if I don't get enough sleep, if I don't give myself what my body needs, I'll get sick just like that. I haven't really had any signs of labor. I had 2 times that I really thought I was having a contraction, because it was like what they say, a really bad period cramp that is more in your back and like wraps around and is just, you know. And I had 2 of those, but they were both like just one day and then one the next day. So I don't really know. I haven't lost my mucus plug. I haven't had any other symptoms. Yesterday I kept feeling like my water was trickling out of me, so I would like stand up and I would just freeze and nothing else would come out, and I'd be kind of freaked out. So anyways, that's where we're at. I have been trying to prepare myself as much as I can to have a natural birth, unmedicated, and it has been so discouraging, especially when I went to the hospital. The lady was like, the nurse was like discouraging me about having a natural unmedicated birth, and that just makes me so upset, because it's beautiful no matter what way that you do childbirth, and so to put someone down for the way that they want to do it is really discouraging, especially when a woman is choosing what seems like could be the harder option, obviously, because you're feeling more pain. And to put a woman down for that is just so sad to me and so discouraging. I've just been kind of trying to learn to just not talk about it to people, because people are going to have their opinions, and most of the time their opinion is going to be discouraging, and there's no point in me being discouraged by others. I have not done any cervical checks, so I literally have no idea what the situation is down there. I was a little worried about a cervical check because of the GBS, but I later found out that that doesn't matter as long as my water is still intact. So that didn't matter. But also, earlier on, I didn't want it to induce labor early, premature. So that's why I held off at first. Then I held off because of the GBS. And now I just held off because there's just really no reason to do it, in my opinion, for me at this point. Because no matter what the situation is down there, if I'm not going into labor yet, I'm not going into labor yet. And I could stay how I am for weeks, you know. To go through something that may be uncomfortable, maybe it's not even bad, but could cause cramping and spotting, which I feel like for me would just cause confusion. Like, am I going into labor, am I not? Doesn't really give me any real answers. I just felt like it was unnecessary for me, and I feel like a lot of women don't realize that you don't have to do a cervical check. And so let this be your sign. You don't need to do a cervical check unless you want to. If you want to, go ahead, but it's not best for everyone, and that's okay, and you don't have to do it. Basically, my plan from here on out is, today is Friday, October 10th. My due date was yesterday, October 9th. And I had an appointment this past Monday. And at this appointment, we thought that we would be scheduling an induction, because that's what one of the doctors said. He said, if you don't go into labor by Monday, I'll want to talk about an induction with you, because we don't want you to go too far. So then at this Monday's appointment, when I ended up going in, I met with the other doctor, and the other doctor said, I explained to him how I wanted to have an unmedicated natural birth, and he was like, oh, well, we don't need to schedule an induction this week. We can wait one more week, and if you don't go into natural labor by next Monday, then we'll talk about Whew. He said, if you don't go into labor by next Monday, then we'll talk about an induction. So that's the plan. We're giving my body this last week to go into natural labor, and then on Monday we'll schedule an induction sometime for next week, probably. That's my plan. I really believe that your body usually knows when to go into labor, but I also know that sometimes medical interventions are necessary, so I'm trying not to be too hard-headed and to just pray about it and do what I feel peace about. So it's crazy to think that we will have a baby, like, for sure within the next week. Alright, that's really all that I have to update you guys with, so please keep me in your prayers. I'm gonna try and get this up today, because at this point the baby could come at any moment. So if you're watching this, pray for me, pray for my throat, pray for my body, that I just continue to heal super quick. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video, and in the next video we will have a baby. So crazy. Okay, bye guys.